to yet another episode of In the Green Room Podcast Season 3. I am so happy to be here. As y'all can see, I am not here by my lonesome. I got my girl Jasmine Ahnie here with me. I have been knowing Jasmine since 6th grade.
Yes.
2002. 12.
Yes. No, 2002.
Look, I aged us after.
Hold on a second.
2000. No.
Yes.
That's wild.
You know how long ago 2002 was?
Very
long time ago.
So we've known each other for more than half of our lives. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
That's really crazy.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm very happy for you because y'all should see this setup that she has right here. Like, it is immaculate, top tier. This is a real set.
Thank you.
So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I'm
girl.
happy for you. I'm proud of you. Yes.
And likewise.
Thank you.
But we'll get into that.
Yes.
But y'all know how we start every episode of In the Green Room Podcast. We got the affirmation station. So we have 2 sets of affirmation cards. I'm going to shuffle up both of them and you pull whatever card you are drawn to. And that is your affirmation of the day, and it will be our affirmation of the week.
Okay.
So this is what's going to last us through the week. I will warn you that usually I feel like every single person that has been on this podcast that has pulled one of these cards, it's been exactly what they needed.
Okay. All right.
So, all right.
Ooh, no pressure. All right. What am I feeling? Yeah. I'm gonna go over here.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. So far, you are right.
Uh-huh.
All right. I am led by my dreams, not pushed by my fears.
That's one of my favorite cards in that entire deck.
Yes. Can I expound now?
Yeah.
Or should I wait?
Go ahead.
This is on point.
Yeah.
Because, I guess we'll get more into it later, but I'm newly self-employed.
Yeah.
So, and it's very scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been in a mindset lately where I'm not going to be scared. I'm just going to trust in God and let it work out however it's supposed to work out.
Yep.
And I'm in a place where I'm learning more so to be comfortable being uncomfortable. So,
because that's where the growth happens.
Yes, exactly. I am led by my dreams, not pushed by my fears.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's see what else we got. Because so far, so good. One more.
You like you're stepping on my toes.
All right, let's see.
Like this.
Okay. She went for the 4th card from the right on that one and the 4th card from the left on that one.
Oh, did I?
I pay attention to
I
things.
did not even notice that. That is, wow, very interesting. All right, it says, I am love. I may not have always made the right choices, but I did my best. I have so much love to give and everyone around me can feel it. I am given a clean slate every single day to be the best version of me that I can be. I am forgiven. I am loved. I was having a conversation with my mom last year, and I told her that, let me not get emotional. Why am I getting emotional right now?
It's okay. It's okay.
No, we were talking about some stuff, and I came to the realization that, everyone has a purpose in life.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's okay.
Everyone has a purpose in life. And I came to the realization that I feel like I was put on this earth to love people. And I never quite really put it into words before. I always felt compelled to show people love and to make people feel loved and make people feel comfortable and accepted. Yeah. And I never really thought about it. I think that that's my purpose to love people.
Yes.
So this is,
I just be saying what I be saying when I be saying it. A lot of times it be right, but
you're right.
These are good. So we got I am loved and I am led by my dreams, not pushed by my fears.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these are affirmations of the week led by Miss Jasmine Ahnie. And this is another episode of In the Green Room Podcast. Y'all stay tuned. It's going to be really, really, really good. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to In the Green Room Podcast. I am your host, Brittany Shanae, and I'm your favorite podcaster. And if I'm not your favorite podcaster right now, I will be by the end of this episode. Like I said before, I got my girl Jasmine over here with me. I'm so grateful to have you in the building with me today. We have known each other for a month of Sundays, and you from up north, so I don't know if you recognize the countryness in that one, but
I do.
A long time.
Because I've never used that phrase before, but I know what it means.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. For real.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
For real.
Of course.
Times 1,000. Yes.
I'm so proud of you and everything that you are doing with your brand, the Creators brand. We're going to get into it. But first, I know you, but I want the audience to know you a little bit better. Who is Jasmine? Where is she from? What did she do? You touched on a little bit about, being a full-time entrepreneur now. But let's start with, who are you? Where you from? Where your roots? Where your roots at? Like, what? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Jasmine. I am originally from Brooklyn, New York. I moved to Georgia in 2001, right before I met this lovely lady right here. I grew up with an appreciation for the arts, so I had no choice but to go into the arts because that's pretty much all I knew.
Yeah.
So, at my core, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Besides being an artist, I, as we touched on before, am a lover. So I love to love people, whether that's romantic love, platonic love, through my actions. I'm a what's the love language?
Words of affirmation.
The other one, actions.
Oh, acts of service.
Acts of service type of gal.
Okay.
So whatever I can do to help other people, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm always the one who is wanting to show support, encouragement, trying to help wherever I can. So I'm that type of person. I'm a giver for sure. I'm one of those people who has problems asking for help, but I'll give it all day and all night. But yeah, that's who I am. I love art and I love to give.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Are you an only child? You got siblings?
So I'm an only child.
Okay.
But I do have half siblings.
Okay.
But I grew up as an only child.
Okay. Do you think that's why you give out so much love?
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. I grew up surrounded by love though. Like I'm very blessed and very fortunate to have had like an amazing childhood.
Yeah.
Like I didn't grow up in trauma or anything like that. So it's like I had like genuine love from my mom. I had genuine love from my grandmother. They both raised me. And, I saw genuine love between my parents, even though they got a divorce when I was very young. I just had love around me at all times. So it's like, it came naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love hearing that about love. But no, so many times we hear so much about traumatic upbringings. So it's refreshing to hear when people are raised and they've experienced love from the beginning. Yeah. I think that's dope. Yeah. Where did you said that you're an artist through and through. Where did that come from? Do you remember being little and putting on shows, or like where do you feel like it sprouted from?
So I think growing up in New York, there's art everywhere. Yeah. And I mean, you can say that about a lot of cities. But just my personal experience, growing up in New York, there was art everywhere. Yeah. There's Broadway. There's people dancing on the street. Right. You can go anywhere. There's a lot of crazy people, but you could see some crazy man singing on the sidewalk. Yeah. That's art. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I grew up around it, and I think at the age of 8, I've just always had like a very outgoing personality.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 8, my mom asked me like, Jasmine, do you want to take acting classes?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. I used to take acting and dance classes every weekend in the city. And then, of course, when I moved to Augusta, we went to a fine art school. Right. So we did that every single day. Yeah. And then when I went to college, I was a theater major for the first 2 years. Okay. And then I kind of was still dancing a little bit. So it's like, I've seen it just growing up at every stage of my life. Yeah. And it's something that I just genuinely enjoy. It was never something I was pushed into. It was never something that I wanted to do because, like it looks glitz and glamorous. Yeah. And, it was just something I truly enjoyed. Yeah. So,
it's in you, it ain't on. Yeah,
exactly.
So I know that in your more recent years, you began modeling.
Yes.
And you walked the runway, girl. Them legs be lagging. They do though. So where did that come from?
So it's funny. I've actually, I don't want to like big up myself and be like, I've been modeling forever, because I haven't, but I started modeling a lot earlier than people think. Okay. So I started taking modeling classes when I was 12. So when we were in school, we would be driving here to Atlanta on the weekend I could take modeling classes. And then, through high school, I never did anything with it. But when I got to college, I started again. So like I was a part of mad organizations. Yeah. So one of them, I was in the African Student Association, and we used to put on fashion shows all the time. I ended up being a part of the exec board for that. Okay. So we would put on several shows, and I would just do all the African nights, all the International Student Association fashion shows. I used to do the fashion shows at other people's schools at like Southern Poly, when Southern Poly was still in existence. So I had been kind of into it for longer than people realize, but then, of course, like I took a break as time went on, and then back in 2022, I was like, let me pick it up again. Yeah. Like, this is something that I miss, and it's something that I enjoy, and it's something that kind of like is easy for me. Yeah. So
yeah. Why not
try that out again?
Why not? So okay, we got acting, we have your modeling, and I'm sure that I'm missing so many others, and I want you to talk about some of all of the things that you do, and then I want to segue into the brand that really encompasses all of those things. What is one of the things that you do right now that is just like, okay, it fuels you?
I think I'm gonna be really real with you. Right now, I'm in the mindset where at the end of last year, I was struggling trying to narrow things down because I like to do so many things. So right now, honestly, I'm focusing on acting and modeling. Okay. But I do a lot of things. Yeah. Like a lot of people didn't know, for a long time, I was editing headshots. Like
that's new to me too.
Yeah, I had like a little, before I even started my business, I had like a headshot editing business. Wow. And things like that. Or I've produced a few films. Like I write and produce films. That's something I really enjoy. Yeah. But of course, dance. Of course, like I danced for 11 years. Yeah. So that's another thing. There's so many different things. It's like there's probably stuff I'm not even thinking of right now. Yep. But I had to learn to like hone it in because, jack of all trades, master of none. You feel me? Like I'm trying to be a master of something. Yeah. So right now, acting and modeling. Yeah. But as far as like what I do artistically is endless. Yeah. Because we're creators. Yeah. Like it's in us. Yeah. We just, it's whatever. Like whatever we are born with, we're born with so many different gifts. Yep. And it's just like, I can edit films as well. Like I don't do it, but I know how to edit a film from beginning to end. I know how to sync sound. I know how to do all that stuff. I just don't do it.
Little shameless plug.
I do little stuff here and there. You know.
But I think it's cool because I feel like I'm the same way. It's so many things. And I think that's why I've been able to navigate in all of the different creative spaces that I have. And, you know, I attribute a lot of that to going to Davidson because we literally had to do everything.
We breathed art. Like, day in and day out.
And a lot of times people don't, when I say that I can do this, they're like, it's like a little side eye sometimes. Like, no. I really know how to do all of those things.
Yes.
Like, when I got to college, my college wasn't an art school, but I ended up being a part of the theater department. And for my senior capstone project, I ended up having to do a paper. But initially, I was going to only do a production as my senior project, but one of the professors, anyway, because that's another story for another day. But my advisor, when the show was done, because I had a full band, I had sound, lighting, I had a full band, I had a stage director, I had background singers, I had an opening act, which was Soki. Like, she ended up living in Macon around that time. The way that things just aligned. But I had a conversation with her after the show. I think it was a couple days after the show. And she was like, can I be frank with you? I'm like, yeah, what's up? She was like, I had no idea you was capable of. Yeah, girl. Yeah. Like, for real. I know how to, it's really like in me.
Yeah.
What was the journey from Augusta to, because where did you go to college?
I went to Kennesaw State.
Okay.
And then I went to grad school in LA.
Okay.
So, for undergrad, I went to Kennesaw State.
So what was the transition like going from Atlanta or outside of, New York, Augusta, Atlanta, and then LA? How was that?
It was all a culture shock. Right. So coming from New York to Augusta, coming from New York to Augusta, of course, was a culture shock.
Yeah, of course.
And I was younger, so I didn't know what to expect. I was a little dumb. I remember this one question. Me and my mom actually drove from New York. We packed whatever we could in the car, and whatever didn't fit in the car wasn't coming.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I remember my dad helped us pack and everything. And that we had a Mazda Protege at the time. And that Mazda Protege was packed to the top with whatever we could find or whatever we could fit in there. And I remember on the way to Augusta, I asked my mom, I was like, do they know what cereal is in the South? I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was different. I didn't know what to expect. Charge it to my age.
Yeah.
So,
do they know it?
That's the first time I say that publicly too. Because I'm not trying to put myself out there like that. But I didn't know what to expect. Yeah. And when I got here, it was crazy because, Augusta is country.
Yeah.
And when we got here,
you can't be saying that on these internet. Jasmine, as much as I defend Augusta and I say Augusta ain't country, this girl gonna hop on this podcast and say Augusta is country.
Augusta is very southern.
Wow.
To the point where, and I'm gonna prove it to you.
Okay. When
we got to Augusta, I remember one of the first gas stations we stopped at, they ain't have no shoes on. It was a culture shock. It was really, it was really a culture shock. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. There were people at the gas station.
People are gonna love this.
This was back in the day, though. This was back in the day, so I'm sure Augusta has evolved a lot.
Yeah.
But back in 2001, they ain't have no shoes on at the gas station. And that was different.
Yeah, no, that's country.
Yeah, another thing that I liked, though, that was that, like, people waved at you.
Yep.
Like, if people say hi. I remember this one lady, we lived with one of my mom's friends for a little while when we first moved. And we we were entering her neighborhood, and there was this lady who, this was before like the hands-free law. She had one hand on her phone, right? And she was driving, and she literally took her hand off the steering wheel to wave to us.
Yeah.
And I was like fascinated.
Yeah.
I'm like, these people are so friendly.
Yeah.
They're in New York.
Nah.
Ain't nobody talking to you. First of all, get out my way.
Yeah.
And second of all,
First and
mind your
foremost, all of those.
Yeah.
Things. Yeah.
And if you looking at somebody and say hi to them, I'm wondering what's wrong with you. Like,
mm-hmm.
do you know me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. So that was New York to Augusta. And then Augusta to Atlanta. So I had never planned on moving here ever.
Okay.
I ended up, when I graduated from high school, my plan was always to go back to New York.
Yeah.
When it was time to look for colleges and stuff, I was Googling. I'm going to be real with you. I was Googling colleges because I didn't know where I wanted to go. Yeah. I came across Kennesaw State. It was kind of a newer school.
Yeah.
And I was just interested. Like, something piqued my interest about Kennesaw State. So I was like, let me just go on a tour there and see, you know, what it's about. And I went. They were still like under construction a little bit when we went.
Wow.
I think the school was like 50 years in, but it was still under construction a little bit. And it was just like the vibe that they gave me. It was like a really comfortable and safe environment. And something drew me to Kennesaw State. So that's how I ended up going there. Like I said, never my plan to move to Atlanta, but thanks to Google, I found it. It's the most random pick ever.
Thanks, Google.
And that was the only school that I applied to.
Oh, wow.
Like, I didn't even apply anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just, it worked out. And I enjoyed my time there. By the time I graduated Kennesaw, I was over Atlanta. Yeah. So I was like, I need to go somewhere. Yeah. And I didn't know where. I didn't even plan on going to grad school. Like, by the time I finished, I was involved in so many things over the 4 years I was at Kennesaw State that I was tired. Yeah. I was exhausted. Yeah. And, you know, going into the field that I wanted to go into, which was acting and entertainment and stuff, I'm like, there's no need to get a graduate degree. Like, I'm good. Yeah. But what am I going to do? Because I don't want to be here anymore. Yeah. And my mom had told me about a school. I actually did like a summer program at the school that I went to grad school in. I did the New York program. Okay. So I did this summer program back in like my sophomore year, I think. And I really liked it. And she told me, you know, that they have master's programs at that same school, and they have an LA campus. Because I was like, I don't quite want to go to school in New York because I can go to New York anytime. Yeah. Like, I want something new. And I looked into their master's programs, and I really liked the fact that they had an acting for film program because I had started off studying theater. You know, in Davidson we did theater. Different. Yeah, and I knew that theater wasn't what I wanted to do, but I didn't have anywhere to practice acting for film. Yeah. So I was like, it's an excuse to get out of here.
Might as well
get another degree. So I ended up doing that on like the spur of the moment. Like, I applied to the school, I got in. I didn't even tell nobody I was leaving. I think I told people like 2 weeks before I was leaving that I'm out of here.
Out of here.
I changed my number and I left. And that was it. Yeah. And LA was great. I loved LA. The weather was always nice. Yeah. Of course, there's like healthy options everywhere you go. There's entertainment everywhere you go. Yeah. So it was just nice to be able to experience different cultures in different areas. And like, you know, it makes you more well-rounded, of course. But I think I had a good time everywhere I went. Like, I appreciated every location for what it was. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I went to LA I went a few times. The first time I went, it was like a turnaround trip. Okay. So I was jet. I had never experienced, you know, you hear people talking about things.
Right.
And you're like,
that 3 hour difference.
No, man. Because I was there for like a day and a half to work. So it was literally a turnaround trip. And I got back and I was out for like 2 or 3 days. I could not reset my equilibrium. Yeah.
Because by the time you're coming back, you're just getting settled in that time zone. Yeah.
Yes, it was weird. But the last time I went, I was there for doing makeup for the press tour for the film Just Mercy with Michael B. Jordan and with my mentor. And listen,
take a moment for that.
God has been, is still. Amen. But when I went out there the last time, I was in a room with Kobe Bryant. And this was like a few weeks before he passed.
Wow.
Like, crazy.
Ooh.
I mean, crazy.
Yeah.
But I was out there for like a week. And by the time I got to day 5, I was ready to come home.
Really?
Like, I was
Why?
not. I've been trying to figure that out. It could be because I was out there by myself.
Okay.
I didn't really, and I was doing stuff.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able, I feel like, to experience it in its fullness because I was by myself.
Yeah, and you were working.
Yeah, but the thing is, I decided to stay out there for a week that time because my work didn't happen until the end of the week.
Okay.
So I used the beginning of the week to kind of explore and do things. So maybe I just tired it myself out by the time it was time to work and I was ready to go home.
Yeah.
But
or maybe you didn't go to the right places.
it could be. And I was staying in Burbank. And
I used to live in Burbank.
But you knew where to go in Burbank. Yeah. You know, I did some walks,
I was going to the city for the stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I feel you.
So it was cool. I love LA for the weather and to go out there for short spurts of time.
Yeah, I got you.
But I love speaking to people that have lived in different cities that are completely different because everybody's perspective is always completely and their point of views are just so different. So we went on this journey from New York to Augusta to Atlanta to LA. Now you're back in Atlanta.
Yes.
Now you have this venture.
Yes.
That is a beautiful thing from what I see.
Thank you.
From what I've experienced.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the Creators brand.
Okay.
Where did it come from? Where did the idea, has this always been a vision of yours or let's talk about it.
Okay. So in 2019.
Let me ask first, when did you move back from LA?
I moved back in 2017.
Okay.
So in 2019, like t-shirt businesses started becoming popular and people were entrepreneurs and all this stuff. And I wanted to do something cool, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like most of the people who I saw who had t-shirt businesses were like men and like, you know, the people on Instagram who you see talking like the ETs and the, you know, so it was like those type of people. And I'm like, that's not me at all. Like, what do I do that it's something that I'm passionate about so that it can last, you know, and it's not just I started a business and then I don't do anything with it. So I was thinking and I'm like, okay, of course, I love the arts. And at the time, t-shirt businesses like were the only idea of entrepreneurship that felt like, you know, tangible to me. So I was like, what can I do that has to do with the arts, but it also has to do with t-shirt businesses? Like, what do I do? And at the time, I had just gotten a job at the Art Institute. So I used to teach in the filmmaking department at the Art Institute. And that job was brand new. And me growing up, like I said, like I grew up in love and I grew up in support. So like my parents always supported me doing artistic things. It was never you should be a doctor or a lawyer. So when I started teaching at this school, there were a lot of students there who were underprivileged, and the majority was the minority. And there were a lot of them whose family and friends didn't support what they were going to school for. And I'm like, you paying, that school is expensive.
Yeah, you
like,
paying for it, and these people don't even believe.
for a bachelor's, and your friends and family don't believe in you?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So,
90K.
So I was like, okay, I want to create something where people like my students feel supported and encouraged. And even though I have support from home, I want to provide that for you. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other artists who feel the same way. There we go. I am love. So I came up with the first, I came up with a little phrase that I wanted to put on my shirts. And I had different job titles with "It is a real job" to prove to people. Like, I don't care what you feel about what it is that these people are trying to do. It's a real job. And at the end of the day, like, yes, it can be a little more difficult, or there's just, I don't even want to say more difficult, because becoming a doctor is difficult as well. But we just have a different path than the traditional, you know, careers. At the end of the day, it's still a real job.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that was how it started. Mm-hmm. I had a t-shirt line.
Okay.
But I knew that a t-shirt business wasn't what I wanted to do. It was just the only thing I knew at the time. And so pretty early on, I decided that I wanted to do events. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to do that. Because, I mean, it seems easy to do events. But how?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And especially being a new entrepreneur, like, I had no prior knowledge of how to be an entrepreneur and, like, what it takes. So luckily, last year, I was able to launch the events sector of my business. And it's scary. Oh, I am led by my dreams, not pushed by my fear.
Yeah.
But it's really scary, and it's still scary because I'm still in the beginning. It's only my second year. I didn't officially launch that business until 2021. So in 2019, I had one of those websites where it was like the creatorsbrand.something.com.
Yeah.
I didn't really launch until 2021.
Yeah.
And that's when I really like took everything seriously.
Yeah.
So yeah, the goal with my events is just to get people like us together, and to get people who don't have people like us together to feel great, and to feel supported, and to feel like they're enough, and to feel proud of what they do, no matter if you have support or not. Like, if you don't have support with anybody that you personally know, you got these people right here that you know that you're gonna get to know. So I have a lot of, like, when I tell you I have a lot of things planned for my business, like huge, like when I think about it, it's like, wow. I don't know how I'm going to execute it yet.
It doesn't matter.
But I know it's going to get executed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm, like I said, I'm trusting in God to, like, you know, provide the steps for me. I don't know what the 10th step above is going to look like, but I know what this step
on
right
the first one.
Looks like.
Yes.
Exactly. So,
girl, you better say that.
Yes. So that's where we are with the Creators brand. I have a whole calendar of events for this year. So we'll see, you know, how they get executed. Okay. Right now, I just have March and April ready. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited.
So, you're doing entrepreneurship full time. Let's talk about it. Girl, yeah. What made you, or what was that thing that said, Jasmine, let's go?
Okay. I had job at the Art Institute. That was the longest job I had ever had. I have never.
I remember we was having a conversation.
Never have I stayed at a job for longer than like 3 months.
You be out of there.
I'll be in and out. If I'm not happy, I'm out of here. And as an artist, you know how that feeling when you try to get a traditional job and it's just not. Like, the money may be there, but you're not happy. That job was and luckily it was involving the arts, you know what I'm saying? So I was able to stay there for almost 5 years, but at the end of September, all the schools shut down and they didn't tell anybody. We had no warning. I got a letter, I got an email. They didn't even tell us in person. I got an email saying, it's September 21st. Effective September 21st, your position is terminated. And effective this Friday, I think it was like a Tuesday, effective this Friday, all the campuses are closed.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So, right.
What?
My supervisor didn't even know that the schools were closing. Because we were talking about, I taught online after the pandemic, so we were talking about, transferring me to the global campus. Because I taught for like Atlanta, Houston, Tampa, Los Angeles, some of the other campuses. And he was going to move me strictly to the global campus. And this was like literally a week before we got that email. So like, he didn't even know. It took us all by surprise. So, after I got over the shock.
God was like,
exactly. Exactly.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah. I spent a little bit of time applying for jobs. And I'm not gonna lie, I have been applying for jobs the entire time because as an artist, you want to have multiple streams of income. And it was like, I wasn't getting no interviews. And I'm like, come on now, like, I'm overqualified for this one. Like, what's the issue here?
Yeah.
You know, and I was applying for jobs that I was overqualified for. I was applying for jobs that I was underqualified for, right on track with. And I wasn't getting any interviews. And I'm like, I know I ain't done.
Yeah.
There has to be like another reason.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is the push that I needed to do my thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's no way in the world I'm not getting not one interview. And so, like Steve Harvey said, I had to jump.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And luckily I have parents who like support me.
Yeah.
If, you know, if I do need that help financially or in whatever way.
Yeah.
I am blessed to have two parents who like are there if I need it. So that's, you know, that made me a little bit more comfortable in jumping. But I'm really out here grinding it out.
Yeah.
Like prime example, January was a really good month.
Yeah.
February was a really chill month.
Yeah.
So it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, I'm getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let's see what March brings. Let's see what March brings. You know? And it's like a constant grind. But I'm thankful for it because it instilled certain things in me that I know I'm going to need when I get to the level that I want to be.
Yeah.
I work harder now. I have a way better work ethic.
Yeah.
I used to be lazy.
Because you ain't got no other choice but to.
Exactly. Like, I used to work when it was convenient for me to work. But now I don't have a choice. And now I enjoy the grind. I enjoy putting forth more effort. I enjoy seeing the fruits of my labor. Like, it's crazy how the minute you decide that you want to change something about yourself, everything comes together for you. And it's like, okay, I'm really doing this.
Yes.
Like, I'm really doing this.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's already been a journey. We're only in the beginning of March.
Right.
I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to keep it this way as long as possible.
I think it's so important as creatives and entrepreneurs when those two exist at the same time that this conversation is continued to be spoken about because so many people get discouraged from that February after that January. And then it's like, well, what do I do now? Do I go get a job? And then they go and apply for a job and they don't get a job. And it's like, well,
what's left? What are the options?
Well, you have to keep going. You have to keep going.
You do.
I can relate. Last year, these strikes, and both of us were clearly affected by these strikes. But I was telling one of my friends that, you know, it's crazy how much I got accomplished when I was lazy, when I was kind of putting my all into it, but not all of it. I got a lot accomplished. So just imagine with my head down and just trucking and making it happen because I have no other choice but to make it happen. How much I feel like the amount of things that I've gotten done from January to March, I mean, it beats the rest of my life in an astronomical number because I've been focused and working dedicated to it. But I think that as entrepreneurs and as creatives, that's what we need to do is lock in. Once you lock in, once you got your eye on that prize, you can't let none of this outside. You got to have tunnel vision to get exactly where you want to go. Because it's your vision. God gave you that specific vision for you. Now, if you decide not to do it, he going to take it from you and give it to somebody else because it's going to get done. Am I? But
I had to learn that I have to stop. So, okay, going, you know, with the whole I am love thing, that's nice, right? But I had to learn that I needed to put myself first.
100%.
I was putting more work into helping other people achieve their dreams and putting myself on the back burner. And I had to learn, like, hold up now. Hold up.
Yeah.
This ain't looking right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
and it's so easy to do that as a lover.
Yeah.
As somebody that once was, as a selfless person. It's nothing wrong with being selfless.
Right.
But there's also nothing wrong with being selfish.
Exactly.
And a lot of times people feel like it's wrong to be selfish. But you at some point you gotta draw all of that, because again, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
It's absolutely impossible to pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
And you don't have any time to dedicate into yourself. And at the end of your life, you gonna be looking back like, oh, I helped them. I helped them. I did this for this brand. I did this for that. But what did I do for myself? And I refuse, because I know that as a little girl, I knew that I wanted to be a star.
Yeah.
I knew that I had all of these big dreams and aspirations. Now, there were times in my life where I forgot that. But I'm back to me now, baby.
Amen.
We back.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen,
And I'm
I
going to make sure.
Yeah, and I can't be frustrated if my stuff is stagnant.
Yeah.
If I'm focusing on everybody else's stuff.
Yep.
Who am I to be frustrated if I'm being stagnant?
100%.
What am I doing to not be stagnant?
So to that same point, what helped you shift from giving so much to other people to turning that back to yourself?
I think it was a couple of things. It was, and I'm not gonna be too, but it was being in a relationship where I was, rightfully so, putting a lot into, and supporting a lot, and nothing was going on with me, and I'm like,
got it. Yep.
I'm that girl, but ain't nothing going on with me.
Yeah.
And it's not, and I don't regret pouring into others, but it's just, okay, you so busy thinking about pouring into this person, you gotta pour into yourself. Yeah. And I'm not taking the credit for that. Let me be clear. Right. Yeah, but it's like I realize that I'm always so focused on other people that it's like, come on now. Yeah. Now you looking stupid now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing was, I was tired of my situation. Like, it's hard when you have something that you love to do and you're seeing everybody else doing it and you don't get to do it. Yeah. And it's like, I'm genuinely happy when I see other people doing things that I want to do, but at the same time, there's a piece of you on the inside that's like, when is it going to be my turn? Like, hey, pick me, Yeah. And it's like, I was tired of that. Yep. And it's like, I had a year where it was like, I was barely booking anything. Yeah. And I'm like, why?
It's time to reevaluate.
And I had to look into myself, and I'm like, okay, you're not booking anything because you're not putting forth the effort that you need to put to book.
Simple.
Like, a little here, a little there is not enough.
Yeah.
Like, you think you're doing something, but you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So focus on yourself. And it's going to feel uncomfortable when your phone is ringing and you don't answer it. And when your friends think that you are acting funny when you're not. It's just that I had to learn how to focus on myself and how to put myself first when it comes to that. Yep. And it has been working. Yeah. 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 And it's no love lost. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, at the end of the day, like my real people, like my real friends, they're going to understand. Yep. But I had to understand first. Like, it doesn't mean that you're being mean, or it doesn't mean that you're being standoffish, or it doesn't mean that you have to sever ties with them just because you're not going to be available every single time somebody calls you. Yeah.
So, that's such an important step of the creative process and the entrepreneurial process. Yeah. Because everybody's not going to understand. Yeah. Everybody is not going to understand. Yeah. And because there's a lack of understanding, those people that don't, they're going to feel like you're being weird or you're acting weird. But what that has taught me is those are not the people for me. Yeah. And it's okay that you're not the person for me. We're just not compatible at this point in my life. And maybe never again. But I know for a fact that right now, you're not the person that is going to be a part of this process. And there's nothing wrong. Right.
Yeah.
People, I've had to sever some ties.
Yeah.
And yes, it hurt. And a lot of people, for some reason, I think I'm turning into my mama or getting more like my mama. But there have been a few relationships that I've had to release from my life that the other party feels like I was just not affected at all. And I'm like, little do you know, when I go, she gonna cry in the car.
Right.
Like, what? Or in the shower. Like, cause real thugs cry in the shower.
Yes.
But no, like, these things really do affect me, but I understand that there is more to my life.
There's a bigger picture.
Yes.
Yes.
And if you cannot understand that, if you can't get that, we don't have anything to talk about.
And it's no hard feelings.
No.
It's just, it doesn't work out, and that's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I wish more people had that level of maturity. But also, I can say that, but I also understand that there was a point in time where I didn't have that level of maturity. Yeah. But that's why grace is so important to have and to offer people. Because again, everybody is going through something.
Yeah.
And everybody has a goal that they want to achieve, whether small or big or medium size or however, and everybody has their own process. I wish that people gave more grace. Yeah. Because we just trying to make it.
Okay, we all just trying to make it.
You know what
we all just trying to survive. That's it.
For real. That's all.
Yeah.
Let's see. We talked about the creators brand. So, in all of the things that you do, was there ever one thing that you wanted more than all of the things? Like, did you want to be a Emmy-nominated actress over being a runway model at Paris Fashion Week? Or like, has there been anything that like trumps the ultimate goal?
I think acting has always been my priority. Yeah. And it's so funny. I've never been the person who's like, oh, I dream of getting this award or that award. I remember like maybe 6-7 years ago, I literally said out my stupid mouth, if I never win an award for acting, I'll be cool. I just want to act. And like years later, I thought about it, and I'm like, nah, I kind of take that back.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to be recognized for the work that I put into the thing that I'm so passionate about. And acting has always been number one. Yeah. And, you know, I think I like to navigate through life with like the least resistance. Yeah. So if there's
I just said in a prayer, I said, Lord, I pray that whatever belongs in my life will flow with ease. I don't necessarily want it to be easy, right? But I want things to flow with ease. So you saying that,
So with that being said, I know what my priority is, but if my path doesn't look like what I thought it was going to look like if modeling takes off before acting, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's whatever God has for me, however he has it for me. And I know my ultimate, the end goal is going to be achieved. So however I get there, however I get there.
Yep. I love that. Yeah. Y'all, listen, the people that I choose to bring on this podcast, like literally, I love connecting with like-minded individuals because it lets me know that I am doing, I am where, I am with, I am in perfect alignment with everything that's supposed to be happening in my life because I have people that understand around me, because not everybody is going to understand, and they're not going to see although our visions and our goals are different, we share similar mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Like
and so
values
it's so refreshing. Yeah. It's so refreshing. And I hope that these people that I'm bringing on this podcast this season, I hope that these point of views are really permeating and getting into the core, into your brains, into your hearts. Like, seriously, y'all. For real. Yeah. Let me see what else I got. Let me see what else. It is 4:44. Look at that.
This is good.
Yeah, girl.
This is good.
You kind of just mentioned it about giving too much into an ex-partner. So with you being a full-time entrepreneur now, does that leave time for dating or, dating, self-care, recharge time? Does it leave space for those things, or do you make the space for those things? Because I know it's hard.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur, people be like, yeah, I don't want no 9 to 5. 9 to 5, you work 40 hours a week.
Okay.
With entrepreneurshut full time, that is 24/7,
365.
Listen, and this year we got 366. So,
right. A whole extra day.
Right. So do you have the space for all of those things?
Okay. I'm like, where do I start? Okay, dating wise, I verbally said out of my mouth at the end of last year, I'm not dating in 2024.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, I am a very single person. Yeah. Like 9 times out of 10, you're gonna catch me single. Yeah. I don't really date that much. Yeah. And it's not that I'm closed off to it. Like I'm open to it and I'm open to relationships, but they have to happen naturally. Yeah. Like 100%. I don't go looking for dates. I've never been on like the dating sites or whatever. Because I'm real comfortable being single. Yeah. And I love relationships, but I know how I am when I'm in a relationship. Yeah. Like, I'll go my all. Yeah. So I feel like at this time, now that I'm finally learning to focus on me and put me first, I'm not really interested in dating. Yeah. But I'm open to it if it happens naturally and if there's no resistance with it. Yeah. Like, I don't want to date if it's gonna mean that, at this time I was gonna work on something with the creator's brand, but because this person asked me out, I'm going to date. Yep. No, I'm not gonna do that. Yep. You know, so I'm open to it, but I'm not really looking for it right now. And as far as self-care, I'm having to learn to like really fit that in the schedule right now, because like I'm thankful, but my schedule has been jam-packed since January 1st. And it's to the point where my emails are getting backed up. Like I'm usually on it with emails. And I'm finding myself sleeping less, which, I mean, they say when you're an entrepreneur, like, get used to not sleeping, but I don't want to live like that. I want to have a healthy life and be a successful entrepreneur. Yeah. So I'm having to learn how to juggle my schedule and juggle self-care and juggle sleep and juggle eating right and juggle getting back in the gym. Because, sis, I ain't been in the gym since the year started. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's terrible. It's real bad. It's terrible. It's really bad. So I'm having to learn that. Before, when I was kind of lackadaisical and like, I'm going to work here when I feel like it, work there when I feel like it, all the other stuff was on point. Yep. But now that like my acting is picking up, my modeling is picking up, my business is picking up, I'm having to find time to like take care of it. Yeah. So I'm learning, and the good thing is I'm aware of it. I'm not there, but I'm aware that that's I need to be there. So that's I mean, recognizing it is the first step. Yeah. Yeah. You gotta recognize, because if you don't recognize it, it'll just keep going and snowballing and getting big. And then next thing you know, you having migraines or something like that. And you know what I'm saying? Crazy and wondering why. Yeah. It's good that you recognize that. But I'm glad that you are recognizing so you can, shift some things. What I found that works for me, I found this agenda. And
I write in it every day. I journal every day already, so this is just an extra. But this agenda, it's a. I can't think of the word right now, but every single day it asks you a series of questions, and then you have a space for a to-do list, and then you have slots for if you want to break your day down by time. You can write your affirmation of the day. You can write your quote of the day. You write a big goal, and at the end of the day, there's another page where you answer questions about the day.
Okay.
So it's like it's forcing you to hold yourself accountable, and the agenda was like $35, $36. So you go, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you spend the money on it, so you gonna want to. It's not just, and it has a space where you can do a vision board.
Oh, okay.
It has a space where you can write a year plan, a 5-year plan. It has like it prompts you to hold yourself accountable.
That's really good.
And it's helped, like I said, how I've been more productive this year than ever in my life. That agenda has helped me so much. So I don't know what your process is.
Calendars and alarms.
Yeah.
Calendars
and alarms. And you still not getting enough sleep.
So it's because I have so much stuff on the calendar that I'm trying to get it done. And then it's like some stuff is having to be pushed to tomorrow, but I'm going to stay up late because I'm working hard now, you know? So I just have to find that balance.
Yeah.
I have to find that balance.
And you'll find it.
And this year I started doing I've always used a wall calendar in my phone. Like, if it's not on a calendar, it's not getting done. That's how I operate.
Yep.
And I used to use like a dry erase calendar, but I found that wasn't working for me.
Okay.
So now I have like a paper calendar. And for whatever reason, like the difference in material makes a difference in my productivity.
It's crazy. Everybody is different.
Yes, it's color coded. It looks pretty. And with the paper, I can rip it off at the end of the month. I don't have to erase. I don't know. It's something about the paper calendar that's like, okay, I'm more on point. My sleep may be off, but I'm getting it.
One out of the two.
Right.
One out of the two. So, unfortunately, we are coming to the end of our... So I like to ask people, my guests, to give me some random story. Like, it can be funny. It can be like, it can be like, it's some type of dramatic event or something that nobody would know about you, a secret talent, like whatever you can come up with. What you got?
Okay.
She got some already. Think about it.
No, this is like, this goes to show how much I need to like get some structure in my life with all that I have going on. And this is like an old story. But I'm still working on it myself. So there was this one time, I'm always busy with something. And as you can see, my time management is not my strong suit. You gonna get it slowly but surely.
Yeah.
And there was a time where I was, going throughout my day or whatever. My mom calls me and she's like, "Do you want to have dinner?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So I'm rushing out the house. I'm trying to get there on time because I'm never on time for anything. Yada yada. I remember it was the winter time, so I threw on my clothes. Something like just real simple, like sweatpants, hoodie, boots, whatever, coat. And we go out to eat, and we go to this Italian restaurant. And it wasn't like a fancy Italian restaurant. It was like one where I could have on sweatpants. So we go out to eat. We have a good old time. Me and my mom, we always laughing and joking and stuff. So we had a great night. And we go our separate ways. And I get home, and I realize the whole time I had my shoes on the wrong feet. As a big, grown, 30-year-old, I had my shoes on the wrong feet the entire night. And had the nerve, I remember too, like, I have real raggedy knees. So I remember, like, that night, I had the nerve to have my feet kicked out from under the table because my knees were hurting. And the whole time, I had my shoe, like, my boots was facing out like that. And I was like, you know what? I really need to get it together. And like, if I wasn't rushing, I would have seen that my shoes were on the wrong feet.
Wow.
Yeah. That's my life. So.
Oh my God. I probably would have cackled at myself. Did you laugh at yourself?
I was dying.
Because of what?
Like, and they were like duck boots too. So you know how duck boots have the curve on the end.
So it was a dramatic.
I'm like, come on, nobody in this restaurant noticed this?
No.
My mother didn't
probably
notice
did.
It? Like, come on, y'all could have told me.
Maybe it's a style. Because maybe, you know.
Somebody could have told me. I don't mind. So yeah.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Bruh. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Real random.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah.
So, all right. To wrap up the interview, because that was good. Like, yo, I like to ask people, podcast is called In the Green Room.
Yeah.
What does green mean to you?
To me, I like green. First of all, I love that you have this whole green thing going on because I don't think it's a common color. Especially the shade that you choose to wear. I love it.
Thank you.
And to me, green is a representation of two things. Expression and like groundedness. Yeah.
Expression.
Yeah, green. Who chooses to wear green?
Yeah.
You know, like people wear blue, people wear black, you know, red. But not many people choose to wear green.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a form of expression. And then it's also like a form of like, you know, just feeling grounded. Like all these plants around us, like I feel grounded. I feel safe. I feel secure. I feel at peace. Yeah. You know, so that's what green represents for me.
Love that.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever said expression, but I love that. Yeah, man. Huh.
Yeah.
Jasmine!
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming.
This was great. I love this.
Thank you. But I want you to tell the people what's coming up. I know you have a screening coming up, but tell the people about the screening. Tell them where they can follow you, where they can follow the Creators Brand. Anything else that you want to share. This is your moment.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, here we go. Hello. So the Creators Brand you can find at www.thecreatorsbrand.com or on Instagram or TikTok at The Creators Brand. Yes, we do have a screening event coming up next month, March 21st. It is a film screening event for all types of films. So I'm excited to see, you know, the amazing artists that we have lined up. I have some great submissions so far. So, that should be amazing. And then networking and headshotting, which you came to last year, my very first event. Thank you so much for coming, by the way. I love the side note. I love the fact that you came, even though you had something to do. Like that's real support to me.
I wanted to make sure.
And it being my first event, like of course, you know that's nerve wracking. Yeah. So like to have people there and like people that you know for a long time to just come up and support, that was great.
I rock with you, girl.
That's it. Networking and headshotting. The second one is coming up in April. So that should be cool. And then you can find me personally on Instagram at Jasmine Ahnie. That's AHNIE. I spell Jasmine the regular way, no fancy stuff. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it so much. This conversation was spot on.
I concur.
Yeah. Tell the people what your affirmations were one more time.
Yes. My first one is, I am led by my dreams, not pushed by my fears. Amen to that. My second one that had me almost choked up was, I am love. I may not have always made the right choices, but I did my best. I have so much love to give and everyone around me can feel it. I am given a clean slate every single day to be the best version of me that I can be. I am forgiven. I am loved.
Those are our affirmations. And this was another episode of In the Green Room Podcast. We are in our third season. Y'all hear me? Season 3. Hey. Like, what? I'm so excited about that. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, In the Green Room Podcast. Make sure you follow me, your girl, Brittany Shanae, on Instagram, BrittaneyShanae. What else I got? I think that's about it. I love y'all. Again, I am your favorite podcaster. Make sure y'all tune in every week because I love y'all and I want this to continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. That's what the color green represents. I love y'all. Have a wonderful week. See y'all later.